बोलिए सतगुरु महाराज जी की जय, सच्चे दरबार की जय। Today we present weekly satsang from Akhand Gyan, the monthly magazine of Divya Jyoti Jagriti Sansthan, inspired by His Holiness Sri Ashutosh Maharaj Ji. This article is taken from July 2011 Akhand Gyan. The topic is Check. Which category do you fall in? How do I love thee? Let me count the ways. I love thee to the depth and breadth and height my soul can reach when feeling out of sight. These lines are written by Elizabeth Barrett Browning. Love has been the topic of many books, novels, movies, and poems. We often wish to unfold a profound meaning of love or measure its intensity, yet we find that it is immeasurable and can only be experienced. The thing that we so casually call love is a mixture of beautiful virtues that work to create a portrait of our life. The beautiful colors of sacrifice, longing, conviction, and emotion bring beauty to the core of our lives. We state that we love our relatives or our friends. We often form a strong connection with those we love because we spend time with them, because we make an effort to sustain our relations. Without even thinking, we compromise our preferences for their happiness. We often put aside our ego or our own desires to see them happy. But what efforts have we made to make God happy? Have we even known God or realized Him in our lives? In the Bible, it is said, "Be still and know that I am God." Knowing God comes through divine contemplation, for we come face to face with Him through such a process. Those who seek God, who search for Him, who long His guidance, are commonly referred to as devotees. Saints tell us that there are three types of devotees or seekers. Each one is at a higher state than the previous one. The first category is those who seek God for worldly desires. The second category, those who seek God for the sake of salvation or liberation. The third category belongs to those who seek God for the sake of love alone. Now let us briefly ponder upon each type of devotee. Those who seek God for the sake of worldly desires. These first type of devotees seek God, praise Him, pray to Him, but they do so in order to fulfill their worldly desires. In return of their devotion, they seek to achieve wealth, success, beauty, and status in society. However, we need to remember that God is like a parent who wishes to give to his child everything that he has. Yet the child, through pleading, only begs for one candy. On seeing such attitude, the parent gives the child that one candy to satisfy his craving. Thus, in his attempt to gain something, man actually loses out on a greater opportunity. Just ponder. We may seek the things of this world, but for how long will we be able to retain them? Can we carry all these accumulations with us after we pass away? What about our family, our wealth, or our status thereafter? All these things are present in our lives in accordance to time. It is not necessary that we will have all these things for our entire lives, let alone after we pass away. For the devotees who fall in this category, there is a beautiful message by Sri Ramakrishna. The sum and substance of the whole matter is that a man must love God, must be restless for Him. It doesn't matter whether you believe in God with form or God without form. You may or may not believe that God incarnates Himself as man, but you will realize Him if you have that yearning. Then He Himself will let you know what He is like.
If you must be mad, why should you be mad for the things of the world? If you must be mad for God alone. Now let's discuss the category of those who seek God for the sake of salvation or liberation. The second type of devotee seeks God for the sake of attaining spiritual upliftment. They look to God with a desire to know Him and to attain freedom from the bondage of life and death. Even though these type of devotees wish to attain something from God in return of their devotion and love, yet they choose a higher goal than the first kind of devotees. In seeking liberation from this world, they work to sustain a balance in life, shedding the desires that bind a man to the world. It is well said for these devotees, "Be the captive of love in order that you may be truly free." Thousands have passed who were wise and learned, but who were strangers to love. No name is left to them, nothing to proclaim their fame and dignity, or to relate their history in march of time. Although you may attempt to do 100 things in this world, only love will give you release from the bondage of yourself. Jami is a Sufi saint who spoke these lines. In this way, the second type of devotees surrender themselves to God through love, through devotion. But still, the desire of liberation remains in their hearts. Now let us discuss the third type of devotees, those who seek God for the sake of love alone. These third type of devotees are the ones who seek God only for the sake of His love. There exists no demand or expectation of any kind in return of their love and devotion for God. Just as a small child who has got separated from his mother seeks nothing else except for his mother, so is the craving for the Lord in such devotees. No other object or thing can substitute their yearning for God's divine love. It is a purely give-give relationship, for in such a relationship, the devotee gives himself fully to God. He surrenders himself, his body, mind, and soul in the feet of God, seeking nothing but His love. As they struggle to attain such a state, they are freed from all vices and obstacles, because then only divine love exists in our hearts. In this context, Swami Ramakrishna says, "It will be very good if you can practice unselfish love for God." A man who has such love says, "O Lord, I do not seek salvation, fame, wealth, or cure of disease. None of these do I seek. I want only Thee." Many are the people who come to a rich man with various desires, but if someone comes to him simply out of love, not wanting any favor, then the rich man feels attracted to him. This is the highest type of love that one can have for God, for it is not tainted with expectations, selfishness, or the impressions of ego which put a veil between man and God. This amazing feeling only grows in accordance with the intensity with which it is felt. All that can separate a devotee from God is at once eradicated, and only love exists in his heart. And since God and love are inseparable, and because man is inherently divine in nature, therefore, he too becomes capable of not only experiencing but also giving that divine unconditional love to all. In conclusion, we may try and measure our love for the people in our lives. We may even ponder upon those moments that caused us to taste the sweetness of love. However, as we look at the connection we have with God, how do we categorize ourselves? Are we the first, second, or third type of devotee, what is the intensity of our love for God? It has been beautifully said by Thomas Kempis. The noble love of God, perfectly printed in man's soul, makes a man to do great things and stirs him always to desire perfection and to grow more and more in grace and goodness. Love will always have his mind upward to God and will not be occupied with things of the world. Love will also be free from all worldly affections, that the inward sight of the soul may not be darkened or lost, and that his affection to heavenly things may not be diminished by an inordinate winning or losing of worldly things. Nothing, therefore, is sweeter than love, nothing higher, nothing stronger, nothing larger, nothing more joyful, nothing fuller, and nothing better in heaven nor on earth, for love descends from God and may not rest finally in anything lower than God. Know one, know all. When Newton was living his last days on the earth, one of his friends asked him, "You must be feeling proud of your achievements in life, that you unveil so many secrets of nature. You must be satisfied with the life you lived, isn't it?" Newton replied, "I do not know what I may appear to the world, but to myself I seem to have been only like a boy playing on the seashore and diverting my attention in now and then finding a smoother pebble or a prettier shell than ordinary, while the great ocean of truth lay all undiscovered before me." If we know everything but not God, then we know nothing. While if we know nothing but we know God, then we know everything. So say all our great ones. बोलिए श्री सतगुरु महाराज जी की जय, सच्चे दरबार की जय. To read more such articles, please subscribe to our monthly magazine Akhand Gyan, available in 3 languages: Hindi, English, Punjabi. You can subscribe to the magazine by clicking on the link given below in the description. बोलिए सतगुरु महाराज जी की जय, श्री आशुतोष महाराज जी की जय.